Okay, hello everyone and welcome to your wrapped arrow stitch tutorial. So the kind of things we can make, and we are going to make in this stitch, is this ear warmer, which is pretty nice. So you'll see here the wrapped arrow stitch. So as the name suggests, it gives a bit of an arrow pattern. So it is pretty straightforward to do. Once you've picked it up, I think you'll love it, and it grows really quickly, which is always good. And you can make this ear warmer pretty quickly. Okie doke. So we're going to start with a slip knot like we always do. If you don't know how to do this, you can always refer to one of the earlier videos, one of the basic videos on my channel. Okay, so we're going to make 30 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and then we want one more to act as our first double crochet. Okay, so to make our first double crochet, it's actually going to be a height of 2 chains. So we're going to yarn over, go into that bottom loop of the third chain from the hook. So you've got 2 strands over the top of the hook and 1 underneath. And then you're going to yarn over, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we'll have 2 stitches already done because this 2 chain is going to count as a stitch. Okay, so we're going to yarn over and go into every stitch, every chain along the whole row. So just remember to yarn over, find that bottom loop, so you've got 2 strands on the top of your hook and 1 at the bottom. Just makes it a bit of a stronger chain if you don't just pull up the first top loop. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay, so you can see there now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, including that 2 chain there. Right, I'm going to let you do that and I'll finish mine and we'll reconvene in a minute. Right, okay, so now we should have 30 double crochets, including the 2 chain that counts as a stitch at the beginning. So the next bit's pretty simple really. We're just going to chain 1 and then single crochet all the way along. So if you need a recap or you've never done that before, we'll show you how to do that. So we're going to turn the work and we're going to make a chain. So that's our chain there. And we are going to work into this one that's at the base of the chain here, because we don't want to count this small chain as a stitch. We don't want to work into that one. We want to work into that one on the next row. So we're going to go into the stitch without the yarn wrapped around and then bring the yarn through, 2 loops on hook, pull through both loops. So again, into that next one and then pull the yarn through, pull through 2, into the next one, pull through 2. So I'm going to let you do that and I'll do it as well. And just remember that your last single crochet needs to go into the top of those 2 chain at the end there. So push your hook right into that little area there. I will start filming again once I get there and I can show you that step a bit more detailed. Okay. Right, so I've come to the end of the row with my single crochet. So this is where I need to work into this chain here. So it's sometimes a bit tricky to see. You've got 1, 2 chains, and because I want it to be nice and secure, I'm going to go under 2 strands with my hook. So I'm going to go in there. Can sometimes be a bit stiff and tricky to push through, which just means that it is the right place. You've got it right. It's going to be into that top chain. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on hook, pull through 2, and then you've finished off that row nice and neatly with the single crochets. You might notice my work is twisting, and that can happen. It will even itself out as we work along, but yeah, it is really annoying at this point. But yeah, hopefully you can overcome that if that's happening to you. Just sometimes depends on which yarn you're using. So I'm using a Aran yarn in an acrylic with a 6mm hook. If you want to do this for your practice piece as well, if you want to use that size hook and yarn, you can do. Right, so the next video, we're going to start the arrow stitch. Okay, so starting the arrow stitch, we've just done our single crochet row. So we're going to chain 3. So you can either turn the work and chain 3 or chain 3 then turn the work, doesn't really matter. Okie doke. So the first thing we need to do is the round the back post stitch. So if you've never done this before, watch carefully. And we're going to use a treble rather than a double crochet because we're going to span quite a long area to make this stitch. So we're going to count the 2 chains as a stitch. So that's 1, 2, and we want to go around the post, which is this part of this double crochet. Okay, so for a treble, we're going to wrap around twice this time. And rather than going into a stitch, we're going to push the hook behind the post of that stitch on that first row. So we've got 2 rows below going around that stitch. Then we're going to bring the yarn around and through. So we're just basically making a stitch around that stem or post. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through 2. And on this stage, right at the beginning, we will yarn over and pull through the last 2 to complete that treble. From there on, we won't, but don't let that worry you yet. I'm going to explain that shortly. Now, what we don't want to do is work into that bottom of that chain. And we don't want to work into the next stitch, only for this part, this first arrow stitch. We don't work into there because we didn't make a decrease. It'll all become clear as I move along, but we don't decrease at this end. We do decrease in every other stitch. So we're going to ignore that one at the bottom of the chain. We're going to ignore the next stitch and we want to turn it over to see the next one. So we're ignoring that one, we're ignoring that one, and we're going to make a double crochet into this one here. So it's pretty much the second stitch or third stitch if you're counting the one at the base of this chain. So we are going to complete that stitch. Then we're going to go another double crochet into that next stitch. And then 1 more into the next one. So you've got a cluster or a group of 3 double crochets there, and then you've got your wrapped part of your stitch here. That's the treble that's going around that stitch there. So now to make the other side of the V of the arrow, we need to make another treble that goes around the same stitch. So we're going to wrap round twice, going to go behind the post of that stitch again, yarn over, pull through, and this time I'm going to pull through 2, but leave 2 on the hook because we want to create a decrease here. Otherwise we're going to end up increasing the number of stitches on the row, which we don't want. So we're going to keep the 2 stitches on. Then we're going to check where our last stitch was, which is into this stitch here, and we want to go into the next one. Sometimes you just need to move that treble out of the way so you make sure you're not going to miss a stitch. So we're now going into this one here. Just going to yarn over into the stitch, pull through 2, but then leave 3 loops on your hook, and this is where we create the decrease. So we basically join in the treble and the double crochet together, so pulling it through 3 loops. Okay, so that's your first arrow stitch created, and as I say, the start of each row is a little bit different to what we do further into the row. So it's really important to remember this step for every row. So we're going to yarn over and go into the very next stitch to start our next arrow stitch. So this arrow stitch is going to start with an incomplete double crochet. So we're going to make a double crochet, keep 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over twice. Now this time, I'm just going to put this down so we can count the number of stitches. we want to go into the 5th stitch after the last one we worked into. So basically you're going to have a group of 4 in between each one. So this was the one we worked into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the one that we're going to wrap this stitch around. So you'll always have, in the middle part of the work, 4 double crochets in between. Right, so I've yarned over twice. I haven't completed that double crochet because we want to make another decrease there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. So we're going round the back, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then you've got 3 loops left on your hook like we did before. Yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's the first part of our next arrow stitch. So again, we need to check behind the treble to make sure that we're going to work into the next stitch. So there you can see the base of that stitch. I'm just sliding it about, that was in that top of that stitch there. So then we're going into this one. So we're going to make our 3 double crochets that make the middle of the arrow stitch. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they're complete stitches. We don't have to decrease on those. 1, 2, 3. But now we're going to make our next treble working around that same stitch. So we're going to go 1, 2, go behind the post, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to go through 2, yarn over through another 2, but leave the 2 on the hook. Okay, so now just check again behind that stitch. There's our last one we did of the 3 in the middle. So we're going to go into here to complete this. So we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 for your double crochet, but don't complete, yarn over and pull through all 3 to join those 2 stitches together. So basically this arrow sits on top of the other stitches, which makes it look so effective. So we'll go again because we've only done one of these arrow stitches on the main body of the work. Obviously that one was a bit different, so I'll do it again. So we're going to yarn over and go into the very next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, but don't complete the double crochet. Keep the 2 loops on your hook. We'll count again. So that was our last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our stitch to go around the back of. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and you've got 3 loops left on your hook to join that nicely together. So you're getting the V meeting the other one. So it's almost going to look like a zigzag going across. Okay, let's get a bit more yarn off my ball. Okay, so we need to look behind. This is the main bit where you need to look behind to make sure you're not missing any stitches. So you can see there's a stitch in there, and then there's not one in here. So we're going to yarn over, go into there, make your double crochet, complete it till you've got 3 completed double crochets for that middle part of the arrow stitch. There you go, that's 1, 2, 3, and then we go back to making a treble, wrap it round twice, go in behind that post, yarning over, coming through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Right, and leave the 2 on the hook, yarn over, make sure you know where your next 3 stitch is, which is here, into there, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you should have 3 loops left on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3. So you can see now we've got 2 arrow stitches completed in the way that we do it in the middle of the work, and one that was a bit different at the beginning, which had this chain started off. Okay, so we need to do the same thing all the way along until the end, and then when I get to this end, I'm going to show you how to work the last one into that end. Okay, so I'm just about to make my last arrow stitch at the end of this row. So I'm just about to do the double crochet that you don't complete that starts that arrow stitch. So yarn over into the next stitch, don't complete, leave 2 loops on hook, wrap around twice, count are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go around the back of that post, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 3, and then make sure I know where my next 3 stitches, which is there. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. That's my dog. He's kept very quiet up to now. He's been very good. I think he wonders who I'm talking to. Okay, so yarn over twice, go around the post there, go through 2, go through 2, 2 loops left on hook, and then as always we need to work into this fiddly little 2 chain at the end. So we're going to yarn over, go into that 2 chain. I've made mine a little bit tight, so I am only able to pick up 1 strand at this point, but it doesn't always matter if that happens, but it is better to go with 2 if you can. Okay, so we've got our double crochet, incomplete double crochet to finish, pull through those 3 loops, and there you go. You've got a full row of arrow stitch. Oh, Marvin, sorry, I'm be boring you. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you'll be able to follow that. So the next row, depending on what you're doing, if you're going round in a circle, like you can do for the ear warmer, you won't need to do a row of single chain because you'll always be on the right side of your work. If you're making the scarf, which I've not shown you a pattern for yet, you'll just need to do another row of single crochet so that you're always on the correct side. So if you were to do arrow stitch back that way, it'd end up on that side of the work. So I will show you that just to complete this tutorial, but I'm not going to bore you with my working into single, working the single crochets. I will just show you the beginning of it, just in case you're a bit unsure as to where you're working into. So we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and we're always going to work into that first stitch because we're not counting this single chain as a stitch. We can't work into that, it's too small. Okay, so going into there and through for our single crochet all the way along again and working into the chain, top of the 2 chain when you get to the other end. Okay, right, okay, so I've done my row of single crochet and I've come to the other end and I've done my 3 chain as well. So this one starts again with a complete, without any decreasing at this end basically. Now going this way, sorry, on the second row is a lot easier because this group of 3 that sits in between every arrow that we've created is the one that you're going to put the next one around. So instead of having to count across, just locate the 3 in the middle and go for the middle one. So yeah, I like it once we've done the first row because the following rows are quite a lot easier to get your head around. Okay, so we're going to yarn over twice, go around the back post of the middle double crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2 because we want to complete that one at the beginning of the row. Okay, so again we're going to miss that one and that one, so the one at the bottom of the chain and the one next to it, and go into the third. It's kind of the third one along if you count the one that's at the base of the 3 chain. Go into there with your double crochet, make your group of 3 in a row, by which point you're now going to make your next treble, yarn over twice, same stitch around the back post, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. And remember, it's easy to forget, but this stage you want to leave the 2 loops on the hook and then locate that next stitch. You've worked into that one, so you're going into there. Yarn over, into there. Create the first part of your double crochet and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops to connect. Eventually connect the 2 trebles together. So I'll do a couple more, then I think it should be all right. Okay, so we're working into this stitch now, obviously, the next stitch, making our double crochet that we don't complete. We keep the 2 loops on hook. We yarn over twice, find the middle of those 3 on that row there. Sorry, Marvin, I'm boring you, I know. Around the back of there, yarn over 2, through 2, through 2, through 3. Okay, and here's it. On this row, it's probably a bit more tricky to see where your next stitch is. So just remember, turn it over, look at those V's, make sure that's the one you've last worked into. So your next one's here. So you're going to make your 3 double crochet, yarn over twice, go round the stem or post of that double crochet below and then through 2. Don't finish it off, leave 2 loops on hook, make sure you know where your next 3 stitches, into there, yarn over and then pull through 3. So I've done that first one that's slightly different and the second one there. So you could work all the way across now to carry on swatching and just keep going with it. Obviously on a swatch like this, you're working on both sides of the work. So just remember, every time you've done an arrow stitch row, you've got to do a single crochet row to come back to here and then start the arrow stitch again. And there you have it. That's very nice. So yeah, I will be doing several patterns in this stitch. So there's a ear warmer, which is probably the best one to start with. It's the most straightforward. There's a hat, and then a dog jumper, and also a human jumper for kids and adults. So that one's going to be a little bit of a while off being released yet. I'm just pattern testing it, but the ear warmer's ready. So the pattern will be available probably in the next couple of days. But yeah, have a little practice. And if you fancy trying the patterns, there will be in my various platforms. So Etsy, Love Crafts, and my own website, chescaandwoodrow.com. So subscribe to the YouTube channel for more tutorials, because I will be doing a lot more. Now we're getting into the colder months. We want a bit more chunky, warm sort of things. These kind of stitches are great for that. So brilliant. Good luck. And I would love to see your pictures if you want to put it in the comments, or, you know, message me on Instagram or Facebook. And yeah, it'd be great to see what you make. Thank you. Bye.